welcome to Business Talk Sister Gawk. I'm Becca, and today's podcast episode topic is Instagram secrets influencers won't tell you. And this is actually part 4. So we have done quite a few different episodes with lots of different tips. And I think that this one is going to be like the final episode on this. And it probably won't be as long as the other ones because we totally talked a lot. But with me today, I have Mia Holmes.
I'm the other half of that we, by the way.
Yeah, my sister, who is the resident artist here at Diletto Art Gallery for this next couple months. And so with that, we're talking about how she can be building her Instagram and getting everything ready for her to like be doing that. And so the experiment that I didn't actually talk about any of the data really in detail, but I'll just tell you, like, I took about 90 days and I posted on Instagram Reels specifically every single day for the most part. I think I missed a couple days in there, but what we started with was 132 followers. And now, what are we up to? Let me look, just like take a quick peek at my Instagram. We are up to 6,803 followers. Now, I've had like some that are like, I had like 3 more yesterday and then they fell off because I posted something about a Diletto Norwegian rose mauling workshop, which is actually for local people. But anyways, because I'm pretty sure those are like my woodworkers being like, yeah, I don't want to go to that. But that's okay. They don't live here. But the thing is, like we talked about, like staying in your niche and like talking about that stuff, it's not going to work for every single person.
Right.
If you do want to grow to like be an influencer, you do have to pick a category. And you have to stay within those 5 hashtags now within that category if you want to please the algorithm. And what I've seen is some people say in order to get out of like, quote, Instagram jail, you should start like a new profile, which some people do when they start off, and then you start posting and posting and posting. And I do think it works. It definitely works. You have to like be consistent at it for a long time because, I mean, that's what I've seen is all of a sudden, like, I just kept posting every single day, even though I was only getting maybe 30 views, 10 views, whatever. And then all of a sudden it started being hundreds, thousands. And then some of them are like millions or 600,000. And I have a lot of videos that do have a pretty decent exposure consistently. And they keep getting fed to people. And I think within the art community, within different subgroups of that. But I think what's important is deciding what you actually want out of Instagram. Like, do you really want to be an Instagram influencer? Do you want to get paid? Because, like, I mean, if you do, you can get paid. Like, I have a couple friends that they do different kinds of influencing, but they get paid like 60 cents a week or whatever for like doing their stuff, which is really, really not that much money. But there are other people that like they use it for charity, where they have like a soup kitchen and they're posting about their journey with that. And every time people share their stuff on TikTok or on Instagram, they get paid as an influencer and they get a little bit of money that they put towards their nonprofit or whatever. So there's different purposes for like doing that and wanting to monetize. And I'm not saying that like it's a bad thing. But what I will tell you is I personally feel like it's not financially the most successful way. And people kind of talk about that, like, well, you can get brand followings, you can do content for other people, and it's towards their advertising, and they'll pay you, which is true. I mean, we have like over 6,000 followers now. And when people share our stuff, or like when I talk about a business, like people do see it, and that's awesome. But like, and I do love doing advertising for other people by saying like, wow, I love this business because I'll do it for free because I like it, right? Mm-hmm. But people do get paid for that. They get like these kind of brand sponsorships and whatever. And people do that within like the fishing industry. And like if you're in a specific niche where you want to be an influencer, like you could definitely do that. And it works. You just have to be consistent and really show your personality and share who you are. But if you don't like doing that and this feels really cringy, I totally get it. And maybe it's just like about your products or whatever that you're selling online. And I would say that if you have a retail business where you sell online, Instagram is a really great place to do that, to have that content and to show the behind the scenes and to show your shop. And I think that like online sales are a valuable thing for using tools like Instagram and Facebook. But set your goals in advance of what you're trying to get out of it. and then be consistent at doing whatever you're doing.
Right.
Because if you don't, then later on, you're going to be like, well, I did all this work for nothing. That was such a waste of time. And like, I'll just tell you, like if you're going to set this up, set it up right so that people, if they're shopping on your website or they're looking at your stuff, they can make that direct connection from going to your Instagram page to going to the place to buy your stuff. And if you don't have all that set up beforehand, they're not going to do the work to figure it out, and they're not going to go buy your stuff. They just won't.
Yeah.
Because you have to make the process seamless. And one of the things that I've also noticed about Instagram and Facebook is that you actually do have to have a legitimate website in order to do the shopping features, because otherwise you're just basically using like Facebook Marketplace, and that's like a little bit different. And you can advertise within Facebook Marketplace with your actual business, but like I'm just saying that you have to, like, to do product sales and stuff, you do have to have a real website. Facebook is not going to become an e-commerce platform. Like, I think they maybe thought about it, but they haven't really gone into that area, because then they would step on a lot of bigger people's toes that are competing in that space.
Right. And one thing I do want to say on the topic of growing your Instagram account, I started off quite a few years ago with my Instagram, just kind of posting here and there. But I actually ended up going onto a trip where I was sketching every single day, driving across country. And so I actually started posting every single day consistently. And because I haven't done that in like forever, I think right now I'm stuck in Instagram jail of like $2.99, which is still good, but I don't have as many people liking or commenting like I used to. And so yeah, consistency really is key. And so I've like started a new account, whatever. And if you want to check it out, it's Mia Art and .mn. That's the new one. My other one is Mia Art 1391, which is a Caesar cipher for Mia again. 13th letter M. 9 is I.
You were really into those
1
ciphers.
is A. I am. I was a Gravity Falls kid through and through my entire life.
Oh my goodness.
But the other account that I was talking about the previous episode, I just wanted to give a shout out to, because I really like her stuff. It's Minkle Munkle, so Minkle_Munkle. I think it's really funny. She's got cute little comics.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff like that you can do with your profile as well to optimize it, like doing a link tree, so that when people get to your page, like if you've got a lot of other social things, I put a link tree in there because I've had people, what I wanted to promote was like people going to the podcast. And so people are like, oh, you have a podcast? I'm going to listen to it. And it's right there. They can find it. And if I were like wanting commissions on like art, I could put that in there, like open for commissions, check it out here. Or like, want to buy my stuff? Here it is. Here's my website, e-commerce store. Like there's lots of different ways to like use your profile to get people to the next step of the business buying journey for like if you're selling retail products. And if I want to like actually do more with my other stuff, like people are like, why do you have this podcast with the art gallery? Well, because this is how I learn. Like all of my research and development with having a storefront, I like to talk about because it's so interesting. And there's so many different kinds of entrepreneurial journeys you can be on. And for me, the art gallery is that. It's an experiment. And I love it because there's lots of things you can do with art that you can't do in other industries, with like doing different mediums, trying new things, like checking things, being creative. Like there's so much there and it's so fun. So like that's my total passion. Love it. But I learned a lot about business through it, like sales tax, like building issues, being a commercial property owner.
Building issues. The wall crumbled earlier, like
oh my goodness,
sediment came down.
Okay, yeah. So like that was going to be the GOG portion of this episode. So maybe we'll come back to it.
My bad.
We'll come back to it. Okay, so with that being said, I think that like the geolocation is going to be even more important with the TikTok changes that are happening. And so with Instagram, the same thing, putting that geolocation pin on there and showing people, ooh, here's where I am. But then complementing it with your business Google business page, I think is important, because when people are traveling and you have like, you can take that content, download it and upload it to your Google business listing. Like people are like, ooh, what is this? And they're looking at your photos. They're looking at what's in your shop and they're like, oh, I want to go visit that place. Where is it? And then they just hit route and boom, there they are. Right. And if you're a restaurant, super important because people are going to look at pictures of your food. They're going to look at pictures of the restaurant. What's the ambiance? Like, there's so many things about being a local business with a storefront that Google Business Listing is so valuable for. So, and honestly, like, I literally will like look at people's like Instagrams for different like floral shops or whatever cool things at cake shops. I'm like, wow. And these people are in San Diego. So, like, the next time I go there, I'm totally going to go visit them because I love their Instagram. And I think that you can actually have people make you a destination on their trip because they saw you on Instagram. Okay, so then the next thing I would say about Instagram that I think is really also interesting is that they're rolling out some new stuff with like AI generated translations. Have you tried that?
Yes, I've seen them, and I was like, this kind of like
So it's a
voice
feature
acting.
you can turn on.
Yeah.
Where basically it'll translate your captions or you talking, like literally you talking, into another language, and it sounds like you. It's super creepy, actually.
It's
because
really cool.
I turned it on and I tried it for specifically Portuguese, Spanish, Arabic, and I don't know, like, I think it was maybe like Hindi or something. There's like the last language, which, by the way, and I learned this a long time ago, that people in South America, as well as the Middle East, they actually share content like 10 times more frequently than people in other places. And so if you have like content in Arabic or like Spanish and Portuguese, like you're hitting like Brazil, Central America, like the Middle East.
Portugal.
Whoa, you're hitting like all these people that highly, highly share content, highly, highly like content. And it can actually help you grow faster. And I've actually read from quite a few different people that have written books on social media that if you can grow in other countries first and get your first million there, it's way easier to get your second million of US followers, which I was like, wow, that's interesting. And I mean, I'm not going for 1 million followers. I really personally don't want that. Like for me, for real, that's not like, if I were going after like a brand deal or something or wanted to be famous, like maybe I would keep it
I'll
up.
take a brand deal. Give you some stuff.
Yeah, you can send me some free stuff. Actually, like, people actually have sent us free stuff before. They're so adorable, and we love them. I ended up actually becoming friends with quite a few of those people, quite honestly, because I was like, wow, you actually care that much about like what I'm doing, that like you want to be my friend. Like, okay, I'll be your friend. But
I have to be your friend.
yeah, we're kind of related.
Oh my word.
Yeah, it's this real struggle in life for you.
Just kidding.
Anyways, so, but what I'm saying is like, really think about if Instagram's doing something new and you are an early adapter, they will reward you. Because they are like trying to reward the people that are using the tools that they're testing. They want to test things, so they're going to help you grow at the same time that you're helping them figure out what they're doing with their lives. So with that being said, like you have the ability to do trial reels. And trial reels you can put out and it's not going to show to anyone in your current audience. It'll show to a similar audience, but they don't follow you. And then it'll show you if it went well or not. And if Instagram is like, hey, this is doing really well, you can hit the, okay, post a profile. And then it'll show to all the people that already follow you. And I would say that it's helpful for like A/B testing. Does this caption work better at the beginning to hook people in than this caption? And honestly, like sometimes I put captions that are so stupid to me because I'm like, well, duh, like everybody knows this. But then people like get ragey about it and then it goes really well because they're like interacting. Like, I think one of my like kind of clicky, like I call it clickbait, but really like it's probably not entirely because clickbait like makes you like rage afterwards because it wasn't like that cool. But one of the ones for me was like save money on this woodworking tip or whatever. And people are like, oh, do I know this one already? And like they'll watch to the end to see. And if they do, then they're like, oh yeah, I already knew that. That was dumb. And then like they're like a little bit ragey with the clickbait. But if they didn't know it, they're like, wow, I never knew. And they'll like save the video or like comment on it.
I wanted to go back to the translation ones really fast because what to tell you guys, I didn't realize that was a thing while I was watching this video. And they were collecting like acai or acai, whatever it's called, those berries, acai berries. And I was watching that happen, and the way she was talking about what was happening, I was like, this kind of sounds like AI. And I looked down in the corner, and it said AI translated. So I turned off the translation. I have no idea what they're saying. I turned it back on. I know everything that's going on. And it was like so seamless that I was
Yeah.
like, oh my word.
No, I literally listened to myself talk in Portuguese about tiling a wall.
Really?
And it was like the like stops of like
Mom's
me
friends
trying
are
to
gonna
think.
love that.
I was like, oh my goodness. Like
it
this
even
is
had the
fantastically
inflections,
creepy.
too?
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was my voice.
Yeah.
It was 100% me talking in another language.
Wow.
Which is like kind of cool because I'm like gonna
If
go
you
on.
just cover your mouth and then send it so that all of Mom's family think that you speak Portuguese too.
Yeah, let's not do that because they probably roast me. There's like some like weird AI translation of some word that they're like, what the heck are you saying? Anyways, so that is an interesting feature that's coming out and you should test it out because I think that it will give you a little bit more leverage to increase your audience pool of people that could enjoy your content because it's in another language that you wouldn't have actually been able to communicate to those people anyways. But if you care about the planet, maybe don't use that feature
Yeah.
because it's AI.
And let me be clear on this stance. This is Mia talking. I hate AI with a passion. I don't use it for anything. I think it steals art. I think it is terrible. And it would have been good to be used as a tool. But through the history of what it has become, it no longer is that.
Well,
And I don't use it at all.
I think that there's a lot of people on different parts of the spectrum. But I also believe that like if people don't understand what's happening,
Right.
if people don't understand what's happening with AI, it's gonna really inhibit people from being competitive with
Right.
their businesses. Because if you're not aware of how it's being used and how you're gonna like leverage differences, like I was just talking about, like people are using AI to be super like fake people, but they have flawless skin and they have perfect timing and all this stuff. If I'm not aware of what's happening, then I don't know how I'm going to react with my business.
Right.
And so you need to know both. Like, and I think it's okay, personally, for you to try it and see where the flaws are and where you can do better on your own or where it's going to leverage for your business to make things more efficient. Because
And
I
that's
do
on
think
the business side.
for the business,
I'm on the artist side.
yeah, for the business side of it, there is some stuff that is important to consider because if you don't think about how other people are going to use it to their advantage, you could be left behind.
Right. And should preface, I really do like the translation one. I think that is really helpful because if I wanted to get things across to Mom's friends or my boyfriend's family, then I would need to use the whatever. I think that is helpful in some cases, and if they really hone in on it and figure it out and learn how to make it more sustainable, I think it'd be really good.
Yeah, and I think that there's a whole other conversation about that is entirely not about this.
Yeah.
But what I am trying to say is that like there are features that you can try to use
Right.
within Instagram that will reward you for using them. But again, from the very beginning, I'm going to come back to you have to make sure you set your goals out beforehand. Because honestly, like with my Instagram, when I was posting every single day, all of a sudden we're getting 20 new followers a day, 100 new followers a day. All of a sudden it's just like boom, boom, boom. Like we're just growing like crazy. And I'm like, whoa, this is an engine and it is going somewhere. And then I was like, all right, I don't want to be famous. And I'm done. And all of those things that I worked towards, they fell away. And I mean, like, I still get new followers from like previous content because they're still Facebook is still using my hard work. Instagram is still using my hard work to grow their money engine. They're still showing my content to new followers for them to be able to serve their ads because it's working for them. And for me, I don't want to work for them. Like, I don't want to reward them making money for me personally. It's just like an ethical thing. But I do want to advertise my business because I want people in my community to know that we're putting on a free rose mauling class with a master Norwegian painter. Like, I want them to know that. And I want people in our community to have places they can go to have community. So I am going to use the platforms for those things. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, really think through like the emotional, the psychological aspects of what you're trying to get out of things and what you don't want to become. Because if you don't think about it beforehand, you could put yourself in a position where you can't come back from it. And I want that for you to be like well emotionally. I really do. So that was our last piece of Instagram content. And we're going to transition to the gawk portion of this episode. And if you've been listening and you're like, what the heck is a gawk? To gawk means to stare openly or stupidly. And I just really like enjoy talking about fun things too, and has nothing to do with like business sometimes, but this kind of does. And we're going to talk about my building, Diletto, the art gallery. And when we bought this building, it didn't have heat, power, or water. And so we really had to like redo everything. Like we were just like hauling stuff out of here. You can see some of those videos on Instagram of like us ripping down the lath and plaster. But the thing is, it was built like in, I think it was 1903. And so this building is old. Old. And so with that, like a lot of I had to rebuild an entire chimney because when you touch the bricks, the grout between the bricks, it literally was just falling apart like sand.
I could do it right now. I'm gonna put the microphone up.
But
Touch the wall.
the thing is, we have these walls that like some of the grout is like literally just like falling out. So if you touch the wall, it'll just like fall down.
It's kind of nice because you don't know if it's asbestos or not. So you're really just putting whatever
it
you
is
want.
not asbestos because
kidding.
I actually looked into it, and like this building was built before they started using asbestos in products. I believe 1913 was the year that they started using
Okay, so it is
asbestos
safe.
plaster.
I'm just being silly.
Yeah, by the way, if you're ever going to get into commercial stuff, you really should look into that because you could get yourself into a whole heck of a lot of stuff that would need abatement and cost a lot of money. So look into the like age aspects. But yeah, so the building sometimes like we have like mines here and they do blasts and sometimes it shakes the earth. And then when that happens, little bits of our building shake with it because it's like a little earthquake.
And you hear like a little bit of sand falling.
Or and then you have to go like sweep it up and
That's
whatever.
probably why it's so hard to mop in here.
Yeah,
because
it
there's
gets a little
sand
dusty.
everywhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But anyways, my walls on my building are 18 inches thick. They're pretty significantly hefty, so I'm not really too worried about it because there's a whole lot there to keep everything up. But
it's just funny.
someday I should really redo the tuck pointing. Like that is a good point.
Where's the tuck pointing?
That is the grout stuff in between all the bricks.
Yeah, I can help you with that if you want.
Maybe we'll like plan that in 10 years.
Yeah, let's just hold it off till I pass away or something.
let's just avoid that altogether, actually. Okay. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, you should give it a review on wherever you are listening. And I will see you in the next one.